not. Okay, so yesterday we have seen how we can design match filter in a PAM system to detect a pulse, a square pulse, and what should be the impulse response of that pulse. Okay, so we have designed that match filter. Now today we'll study about this intersymbol interference. Okay, so intersymbol interference basically is the interference caused to a bit due to the interference from the next bit and its previous bit. Suppose I am talking about ith bit. So ith bit is the bit that is currently being transmitted. Now it will be interfered or it will be disturbed by I minus 1th bit, that means the previous bit, and it may be interfered from the next bit that is coming. So a single bit or the ith bit will be interfered from I plus 1th bit as well as I minus 1th bit. So this interference to a particular bit will disturb or corrupt the signal. Okay, Pratik, you are not getting clear voice. Okay, so now is it clear, or is there any lag in the voice, or the voice is breaking? Okay, it's lagging. So maybe due to internet problem that is okay lagging. Now it is internet issue. Okay, I will go slow. Okay, and I will go slow, and you can tell me whether that speed is correct or not. Okay, so can you hear me clearly now, or is there any issues? Is voice clear? Clear? Okay, fine. So I am proceeding. Okay. So intersymbol interference is caused due to the interference to a ith bit or due to a particular bit due to the previous bit and the interference from the next bit. So if I consider one bit, say at time instant I, so the interference from I minus 1 bit, I minus 1th time, as well as I plus 1th time will cause problem to ith bit, right? And cause problem to the ith bit. Why? Because when we pass the signal through a match filter, the shape of the pulse is not accurate a square shape. The shape is like it rises for a time being, then it becomes flat, then it falls for a time being. So it is not accurately um, square, but it takes a shape like say in this manner. Let me draw. So it will take a shape like this. Okay, so suppose I am sending this square pulse, and when I am transmitting through this channel and it passes through the match filter, the shape after the pulse, the shape after the match filter of the pulse becomes like this. Okay, now when I am sending another pulse, say another square pulse I am sending like this square pulse, then what happens? It may, after the match filter output in the receiver side, it may interfere in this form. Okay, so see this pulse, say this is ith pulse, and this one is say I plus 1th pulse. Okay, so what we are seeing that due to the long duration and the pulse shape is not accurate, what we are getting two pulses which are interfering with each other. So this portion is known as intersymbol interference. Okay, so this problem happens due to the noise that we get from the channel. The channel creates this problem. Okay, and we get this intersymbol interference. Now what will happen if intersymbol interference happens? If intersymbol interference happens, then we cannot detect the signals or the bits clearly in the receiver side, because in this portion we cannot know or we cannot guess or detect which one is 1 or which one is 0. Clear? Everyone clear? Please respond if it is clear. Okay, no doubt so far. Okay, so let me proceed with the different. So any digital data transmission, we have these two unavoidable factors. So if I pass through a channel, the channel will definitely add a noise, and due to that channel noise, if I simply pass a square wave from the digital data in a square waveform pattern, that pattern after match filter, it will create intersymbol interference, right? So now you can ask, sir, if match filter, we can using match filter, we are detecting the pulse shape, but still why we are getting this intersymbol interference? Now, for to remove this intersymbol interference, we need to decide upon what should be the width of the pulse. That we'll study tomorrow in the next class. What should be the how should we design the square pulse? What should be its width? What should be its height? So first we'll study intersymbol interference, and we have known why intersymbol interference is caused. So next class what we will see that how we can remove this intersymbol interference. So today we'll derive an equation, solve the solve the um, a block diagram. From that block diagram we'll find the equations how intersymbol interference is affecting a particular bit. So that is the only job of today's class. Okay, so now yesterday we have seen this diagram, all I hope you remember, right? So this diagram we have seen. So this is the bits that we want to transmit. So bi here, I means at every instant. So ith bit. So say I is equals to 4. That means we will send b1, b2, b3, b4, right? So b1, b2, b3, b4. Suppose I am considering b3. So b3 means b3 will be interfered from two bits, b2 as well as b4, and the interference from b2 and b4 will cause a intersymbol interference in the b3 bit. Okay, so we'll see what is the mathematical equation of this intersymbol interference, and in the next class tomorrow we'll see how we can remove it, and what should be the actual pulse width and pulse height. Okay, so let us transmit this. We have already known this. So only the thing that I have changed in this block diagram is that yesterday I have written this block diagram as pulse shaper, but today I have written is a transmit filter. Both are same. Similarly, yesterday I have written this one as match filter. Today I have written this as receive filter. Okay, so this is the only difference in the diagram, else the job of each block is same, like the previous block diagram of match filter. Okay, so what we see, this bi is sent to this pulse amplitude modulation, and this pulse amplitude modulation block converts it into either minus a or plus a. Now minus a and plus a, we can say that the value of a can be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That can be any voltage value. Okay, so considering that say a is equals to 1, so this will be minus 1 plus 1. So if b I is 0, then I am transmitting minus 1. If bi is 1, I am transmitting plus 1. Okay, then it will be sent that this minus 1 and plus 1 will be sent to the transmit filter. The transmit filter will convert into a square wave, and then it will be sent through the channel where noise will be added, and then it will be sent to the receive filter. Let us consider match filter that we have already studied yesterday. Then it will send to the match filter, and the match filter output will be y of t, which will be sampled at a rate of tb. Because we are sampling at a rate of tb here, simply we'll use sampling rate tb here, and then it will be sent to a decision making box. Depending upon the threshold value, we can decide whether a 0 bit has arrived or 1 bit has arrived. So this is the simple block diagram that we'll use to derive intersymbol interference. Clear so far, everyone? If clear, then please respond. Everyone? Okay, the transmit filter, Pratik has asked the transmit filter. Transmit filter is same as the pulse shaper that we have used in last class of match filter. The block diagram of in match filter, we have named it as pulse shaper, which was generating a square wave or a square wave waveform for the incoming bits. Similarly, the transmit filter does the same job. It generates a square waveform depending upon the voltage value, whether it is minus A or plus A. So if we have a minus A, it will generate a 0 pulse. If it is having a plus A, it will generate a, say, plus 1 volt or minus 1 volt. Okay, clear? Pratik, clear? Okay. Okay, so let me proceed with the derivation. So now I will start with now the first line, the level encoded signal. Now level encoded signal means the bits that I am getting after encoding. That means we have already done sampling, quantization, and line and the encoding part, and we have converted into binary form. So here the level encoded signal means the binary bits BI. Okay, and when it is sent through PAM block, we are converting them as plus 1 or minus 1. So here I have written BK and K. So in the block diagram it was I, both are same thing. So if the input bit, say BI or BK, if the input bit BK is 1, then PAM converts it into plus 1. If the input bit BI or BK is 0, then PAM block converts into minus 1. Okay, so this is the this AK is the bit at kth instant. Okay, so at kth instant or say at ith instant or time interval I, we have this value of A. Okay, so if say the value of K is 4, then we'll have A1, A2, A3, A4, and depending upon the pattern, say 0 0 1 0, A1 will be 0, A2 will be 0, A3 will be 1, and A4 will be 0. So this is the pattern, and each value, say A1, A2, A3, and A4 are known as symbols. Okay, so AK consists of 4 symbols if the value of K is 4. So AK is the symbol, and A, so suppose A is the data, and AK represents each symbol value. Okay, so if K is equals to 4, then A is equals to A1, A2, A3, and A4, where A1, A2, A3, A4 are symbols, and that symbol can be either 0 or 1. Understood, everyone? Okay. Okay, so now I have, according to this block diagram, now I have converted AK. So I have got AK. Now this AK is sent in the receiver part through this transmit filter, channel, and the receive filter. Okay, so I have converted the bits into this binary forms, or say AK voltage values, and this AK is received in the receiver part, which is traveling through this transmit filter, the channel, and the receive filter. Okay, and now we have to decide that how we are receiving it and at what level this inter-symbol interference is occurring. Okay, so we can write the transmitted signal in this form. Okay, now see, since I am considering each and every bit, so what I am writing, k equals to minus infinity to infinity ak g of t minus ktb. Now g of t minus ktb, what it is doing, it is the impulse response of the transmit filter. If you see this block diagram again, see, this is your transmit filter. AK is transmitting through this transmit filter, and output of this transmit filter is S of t. So that's why we can write S of t is equals to summation of AK g of t minus tb. Now you can ask, sir, why t minus tb we are using? We are using t minus tb because the pulse width has a duration of tb. That means each pulse square wave has a pulse duration of tb. Fine. So this transmit filter is taking pulses at an interval of tb. Okay. So since I am sending k pulses or ak or k symbols, so we are using AK, say A1, A2, A3, A4. A1 first, A1 will go through transmit filter. Then A2 will go through transmit filter. A3 will go through the transmit filter. A4 will go through the transmit filter, right? And we can write A is equals to this A1, A2, A3, A4. That means the summation of all these signals A1, A2, A3, and A4 will give me the original signal or A. Right, that's what we are writing. We are writing this transmit symbol or the transmitted signal as S of t equals to k equal to minus infinity to infinity ak g t minus ktb. Clear so far? Have you understood this equation? All of you understood this equation? So Gabon, have you understood? Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so this is the signal that has been said that KTV is the sampling rate. You can consider that as sampling rate, but we will not say that this is sampling rate in the transmit side, because the signal, the input to the PAM is already a sample data, because the input of the PAM is a binary bit, so it has already been sampled. What we are doing is that we are converting this binary into a square waveform which is having a width of TB. That's why I've written clock pulse of TB. So that means I am multiplying a pulse of TB duration with the value of plus A or minus A. And we are getting this square waveform. Okay. So suppose, okay, you have understood. Let me again tell you all. Suppose this is the input is, so this is, say, the clock pulse. We'll get the clock pulse like this. Okay, and it will go on. And suppose here we are getting, say, plus 1, right? So the output of the PAM will be this. And if here we are getting minus 1, if here we are getting minus 1, so the output will be like this. Though the diagram is not perfect, but you can understand. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. Fine. Okay, so now this signal, this S of t, is going through the receive filter. So now I can write Now I can write the receive filter output as summation of AK P T minus KTB multiplied with a scaling factor plus noise. Okay, now I'll explain what is P T minus KTB. Let me get back to the block diagram once again. Okay, so I hope you can see the block diagram. Now see, this S of T is transmitted through the channel where a noise is added, and it is going through this AK of T is going through G of T, is going through C of T where noise is added, and it is going through H of T. Okay, so convolution of G of T, C of T, and H of T gives us PT minus KTB. Okay, so this is what we are writing in this equation. If I go through this is what we are writing. So AK is the pulse at kth instant, which is being transmitted through the transmit filter G of T. Then it is transmitted through the channel where we have a channel model filter C of T, and then it goes through the receive filter H of T. Okay, and together we are writing this as P of T minus KT. Here we are writing only this transmitted signal, we are writing only when it is transmitted through the transmit filter. Pt minus KT we considered the transmit filter, the channel, as well as the match filter, and together we are writing it as Ptk minus Tb. And plus N of T means white noise which is added in the channel, convolved with the match filter. So N of T means W of T convolution of H of T. Clear? Okay, so let me define this P of T. So I have already told what is P of T. P of T is nothing but the convolution of impulse response of G of T, impulse response of the channel C of T, and impulse response of the filter receive filter H of T. So G of T convolution C of T convolution H of T gives me P of T. Okay, so let me write this equation. So this is what the equation looks like. So mu P of T is nothing but convolution of G of T, C of T, and H of T. So when this is multiplied with A of K, we are getting the waveform of the bits that has been transmitted. Clear? Okay. Now if I take convolution of the previous equation, that means if I take convolution of this one, what I can write? I can write this as G of F, C of F, H of F. Fine? Right? Now when this signal is after the receiver, so in the output side, if you see the block diagram once again, so this is Y of T that we are receiving. So I have already written the equation of Y of T, and then we are sampling it at a rate of TB. Fine. So now I will write the output of each instant, each time instant Y of Ti. So I will write the equation for each time instant Ti, and then we will find whether intersymbol interference is happening or not. Okay, so let me get back to this equation once again. Okay, so see, after sampling at time instant Ti, that means I am converting this as ITB. So that's why I have written I minus KTB. That means for each sample at time instant I. Okay, so instead of writing P of T minus TB, I am writing I minus KTB. So that means this equation is giving the value of that waveform or that pulse at each time instant I. Okay, similarly, instead of writing N of T, I am writing N of Ti. Okay, now if I consider only the ith time instant, then I can break this equation into this form. So I am considering ith time equation, so I am getting mu AI. So mu AI is the value of the bit that has been transmitted at ith time instant. So this is the required value that I want. This is the other value. Other value means the rest of the bits. Say if I am transmitting say A3, this is say A3 at I equals to A time 3 time instant A3. So if this is A3, then this will consist of A4, A5 or A2, A1, A0. So these are the unwanted signal. This is the unwanted signal or unwanted bits that is also generated in the output. Okay, and this occurs because of the output of the filter and due to the noise part. So this portion is due to the interference, and this causes interference to the desired signal. So this is your desired signal. This is generated because of intersymbol interference, and this portion, this signal that has been generated, this causes intersymbol interference. So we can say these are the residual effects of all other bits. All other bits means if I consider I equals to 4, so that means this will be, say, I equals to 3, for I equals to 2, 1, etc. So these are the residual parts of all other bits that has been already sent. Okay, and this is due to the noise portion. Okay, so this portion which is generated, which is not required, it affects the current signal. Okay, and which this causes your intersymbol interference. So this is your intersymbol interference in the output, which is not required, but it is generated due to the flaw in the communication system that we have designed, and this flaw can be removed by correcting the shape of the pulse that we'll study in the next class. So any doubt? Anyone has any doubt? Please ask. We have only 2 minutes left. Ask quickly. Any doubt? No one has doubt. Everyone has understood. Please respond if you have understood, then please respond. Pragapon, have you understood? Pratik, Sanchita, Somshubro, Shubham. In which part, Pratik, you have to mention? Okay, you have encircled it. Okay, this one. Now, what I have done, I have from this equation k contains from minus infinity to infinity. Now, suppose I am taking an instant I. So this equation represent each and every value from minus infinity to infinity except I. So say I is equal to 4. If I equals to 4, then this represent the value of I equals to 4. This represent all other values except 4. Okay, so this is the desired value, and this is the value which is all other bits or all other values except 4. Okay, I hope it is clear.